Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. We're back in the state of Idaho versus Lori Vallow Daybell, Day 1, opening statements. And this is the day that we have all been waiting for. Until the audio hits tonight, what I have here for you are rough opening statements along with visuals. The visuals are from my archive. Much of it comes from the document dump evidence and things that have been published. So let's get into it. Fremont County Prosecutor Lindsay Blake gave the opening statements on behalf of the state of Idaho. She said, money, power, and sex. That's what this case is about. The defendant used money, power, and sex to get what she wanted. It didn't matter what it was. Tylee had money. Lori wanted it. Tylee's gone. JJ took time, and he also lost his father. When he lost his father, he became much more difficult to care for. He was entitled to Social Security benefits. The defendant didn't want to have to care for JJ anymore. He had money. JJ's gone. Tammy had a life insurance policy. Lori wanted Chad all to herself. Tammy's gone. The prosecutor describes how Tylee's remains were found. You will hear it described as a mass of bone and tissue. That's what's left of this beautiful young woman. The defendant's daughter. Her DNA was found on a pickaxe and a shovel later located in a shed on Chad's property. JJ was found in a black plastic bag wrapped in plastic. An autopsy photo of Tammy Daybell is then shown, and then pictures of Lori and Chad in Hawaii getting married. The missing children, the sudden death of Tammy, the quick marriage of Chad and the defendant left so many questions for those still grieving the loss of Tammy and those wondering 24/7 about the whereabouts of the children. The state will show financial transactions that occurred with money being moved from accounts. This case actually starts in October of 2018. That's when the defendant met Chad Daybell for the very first time. You will hear from Melanie Gibb and Zulema Pestenes during the trial, two of Lori's friends who were there when Lori and Chad met for the first time. You will hear about Chad and Lori's religious beliefs, that Chad and Lori called themselves James and Elena and believed they were religious figures. At the time they met, they were both married to other people. Their spouses were both alive and well when they first met. Remember, the defendant will remove any obstacle in her way to get what she wants, and she wanted Chad Daybell. You will hear about a rating system of light and dark. The defendant told others that with the help of Chad, she could rate people as light and dark. Pretty soon, this system evolved. The defendant used casting that involved prayer and energy work. Often this casting didn't work, and the belief evolved to zombies. A common theme was that the body had to be destroyed. Lori had a brother, Alex. Alex would do anything for Lori. He moved to Rexburg to be closer to Lori and Chad. Alex quit his job. If Chad and Lori asked it, Alex did it. Alex's purpose was to protect Lori. He was a warrior, and that was his job. The defendant took no action when Tylee and JJ disappeared. What you won't hear when JJ went missing is that the defendant did anything to find him. The defendant was telling people she was here on a religious mission to gather the $144,000, so she needed to spend her time and energy there. The defendant told others because she was translated, she didn't have to repent. And when Alex first moved to Rexburg, he texted Lori and set the Wi-Fi password to "too many kids." And Lori responded, "Funny." There was an earlier attack on Chad's wife, Tammy Daybell. October 9th, 2019 is a day a gunman approached her in her driveway, and she originally thought it was a paintball gun. And Lori was mad that night after the incident and said or texted someone, quote, "He can't do anything wrong," referring to Alex. After Tammy died, Lori met Chad's kids, and they were, quote, "all over each other." Chad told his kids that Lori had a young daughter who recently died, but there was no mention of JJ, and Lori never said anything. Lori ordered malachite wedding rings before Tammy Daybell died. Chad and Lori exchanged those rings on a beach in Hawaii when they got married. The police got involved in investigating the missing kids in November of 2019. They went to Lori's condo looking for JJ. When Lori spoke with Melanie Gibb after the kids were reported missing, Gibb asked Lori where JJ was. Lori responded, "I know exactly where he is." Tammy Daybell died, quote, "at the hands of another and died of asphyxiation," end quote, according to the Utah Medical Examiner. After Tammy died, Alex Cox said, quote, "I hope I'm not their fall guy," referring to Chad and Lori. Alex died the day after he said that. The defendant is charged with multiple crimes. The first-degree murder of Tylee Ashlyn Ryan, her daughter. The first-degree murder of Joshua J.J. Vallow, her son. Conspiracy to commit first-degree murder for Joshua Vallow, Tylee Ryan, and Tammy Daybell. When you talk about first-degree murder, the defendant personally didn't have to end someone's life to have committed the crime in a conspiracy. A photo is shown of J.J. Vallow's arm wrapped in duct tape after he died and Tammy Daybell's hands after she died. Those hands will never do anything again. Then a photo is shown of Chad and Lori holding hands on the beach in Hawaii. At this point, the state concludes their opening statement. Again, I just want to reiterate, this is me taking all the feedback from the media sources and adding it to some of the evidence and some of the stuff in the public record and recreating this without having the audio yet. Jim Archibald begins the opening statement for the defendant, Lori Vallow. He says, over the past 32 years, he's been assigned to 27 murder cases. Quote, "They are difficult cases. I was assigned to this case and I'm paid by the taxpayer, so thank you for paying your taxes." Archibald talks about who Lori is, where she was born, where she grew up, how many children she has, and that people are drawn to Lori because of her personality and bright smile. Archibald says that Lori was such a responsible mother that Kay Woodcock wanted her to adopt JJ, a child with special needs, as JJ's parents could not take care of him. Lori was married to Charles at the time. Charles and Lori agreed to adopt him. The evidence will show Lori was a kind and loving mother. The evidence will show Lori had an interest in religion, especially the end of times. He said some people could care less about biblical prophecies, some people care a lot about it. We haven't been able to agree what happened to these children. How did they die? When did they die? That's where you come in. Did she kill, or did she assist, or did she encourage, or did she command? They, the prosecutors, aren't sure what happened, but they want you to be sure. The state has the burden of proving the defendant guilty. Lori never has to prove her innocence, but the state must prove the crime beyond a reasonable doubt. And Lori Daybell was in her Rexburg apartment when J.J. Vallow died, in the apartment of Alex Cox, and was with Melanie Gibb and David Warwick. And Lori was with Melanie Boudreau in Hawaii when Tammy Daybell died. That's Lori's alibi. Publicity has tainted so many people throughout the state, and media exposure is not evidence. If any of you, the jury, have heard anything, you need to set it aside and start the trial with a clean slate. You're here to focus on what she did, not on what Chad Daybell did or what Alex Cox did. You're here to determine if there even was a conspiracy. And that is the end of the opening statements from both sides, reduced down to 12 minutes. Once the audio is released, I'll be more than happy to cue it up with some visuals. I'm sure it's longer and more explanatory than this choppy opening. So, what do you think of the opening statements so far? Personally, I'm a little surprised that the state didn't put more facts in their opening statements. Perhaps it was just not captured by the media that were there relaying what was being said in the courtroom. That could be true, but I highly doubt they went on for 3 hours in an opening statement. I don't know if you ever saw it, but I did a mock opening statement, oh gosh, like 2 years ago for this case, and it was like 45 minutes long if I'm not incorrect. So how they managed to get this down in some tiny little condensed amount is beyond me. And this is before we really even knew all of the different people tied in and alleged other murders in other jurisdictions. So I'm kind of, like I said, I'm surprised that there wasn't more facts in the opening statements of the state's case. I'm also a little surprised that the defense is almost just throwing it on Chad and Alex. So let me know what you think in the comment section below, and I will be uploading later. Bye. And please don't forget to do the YouTube-y things. Hit the like button if you like this video. Hit subscribe if you want to get notified of my next upload, and have an excellent day.